Okay, so I just finished sitting through, listening through, even at double speed. It's excruciating. The latest session from the greatest blackjack player who ever walked the earth. And I got to tell you, I mean, uh, there's not a whole lot more that I can say about him. I mean, he consistently proves himself to be totally ignorant both of the best way to approach the game of blackjack, but also the whole concept of mathematics and logic and numeracy and all of those things that really do matter when you're looking at the game of blackjack or any of these negative expectation games, which are a real challenge, even when you attack them with a huge bankroll and without dirty martinis or any other kind of alcohol, and without blowing your mouth off all the time and making claims that are completely insupportable. I mean, for a guy to say, well, first of all, for John to say that he's the best that ever played is preposterous. I mean, it's laughable. Um, but then to say repeatedly, again and again and again, that he is a lifetime winner everywhere he's ever played. Um, there's. But I wanted to update this whole kind of challenge basically because we're now at 2,300 bets, which means that it's not small stuff. It's not a huge data set, but it's definitely representative. I mean, it gives you a pretty firm view of exactly what he's doing. Today, he did better than he usually does, but the most important thing is, when you get down to the bottom, I mean, this is how pattern betting did, only betting his first base left-hand bets, because I will have no truck with these sort of multi-hand bets that all of these guys go in for, maybe for drama, maybe because they're brain damaged, I don't know, but there is absolutely nothing to support doing that unless you believe in card counting and you think that by bleeding out a shoe quickly by spreading to sort of like two or three or one or two extra bets, extra hands, if you believe that you can actually sort of like change the basic kind of, I don't know, performance level of the shoe itself. If you're a card counter, yeah, you might believe in that. I don't believe in card counting anymore. I've been completely talked out of that. So, there's just nothing to support what he's doing. But just to make a liar out of me, this time with his latest thing at the Venetian with Paulie C, who I think could probably out-talk Sirasani, but wasn't given the chance because obviously it's Sirasani's show, so he was being polite and not gabbing as much as he desperately wanted to, I think. But let me just sort of stop myself here and just say, all I can tell you is just betting the left-hand bets, the first base bets, pattern betting made $6,000, and most importantly, 32.1% of its overall action. The left-hand bets took it the hardest in terms of actual value, which is flat betting, 3 more losses than wins, so that the house advantage was strongly present with just the first base bets, as you can see here, almost minus 4% against the player. But pattern betting turned that around into a 32.1% win. Total action 22,500. And then you come down to Sirasani's situation. And here he managed to make a complete liar out of me by coming out of his multi-hand bets with 6,500 ahead and with 2 more wins than losses. So he got lucky that time. The only bad news is that try as I might, I cannot get his final win at 10,075, which is what he claims. And I'm not disputing, I'm not saying he's not right. The problem with him is that he's crap a lot of the time at announcing his bets. He's sort of like, you kind of think, well, is that 1,000 under there, or is it another 500 under there? And if it's taken away, then it's hard to see. With the dealers, of course, what they'll do is if there's 1,000 and if 1,000 chip and then it's got a 500 on top of it, when they pay the win, they separate the two chips, and you can see, okay, so that was 1,500. But when he loses, then it's a different story. It's just one of those things. I don't doubt for a second that he won 10,075. That's fine. But what I can't do, of course, is track where my error is, and I think it's as much his error as mine. So, what the heck? Overall, John's extra bets, his multi-handers, have cost him 25 grand. Today was a day where he made 6,500 at least. He managed to achieve a 139% superiority average win value over average loss value, which is unusual for him. He doesn't usually manage that at all well, but he did, and that's fine. Big problem I have, though, with him today is he mouthed off against, well, a lot of things, but he mouthed off in particular against progressive betting. And here's the thing, he says, he says, so when you have an even back and forth game, man, you're getting killed. That is total, absolute, complete BS. The best situation for pattern betting or progressive betting is to be back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It simply means, obviously, that if nobody's getting more than 3 in a row, then you're going to clean up with progressive betting. There's no doubt about that. Because you're going to respond to a mean streak, a losing streak, by doubling and redoubling, and then it's not going to last longer than 3. So bang, you're in profit. And then when you're in a plus streak, a winning streak, then you're betting steady. So you're not sort of like doing anything stupid. You might be sort of adding one chip, one unit, one unit through a plus streak. But as soon as you hit a negative, as soon as you hit a loss, then you're going to double up, and so he is completely wrong about this. And then the other thing he says is, what is your math to support that matters? That doesn't make any sense, but that's probably the transcript, not his fault. You know what I mean? All right, so that book, he has no math to support what he does, because it doesn't exist, because he's betting randomly. So there is no support anywhere in the world, in any calculator, in any computer, anywhere, to support random betting. It is a complete and utter nonsense. And if you look at John this time, he was down 13,750. And does he ever come out of that? No, he doesn't see a turnaround at any point in this last session. Pattern betting saw, I think, 15 this time. Yeah, 15 OKs. And here they are, the horizontal green lines. I mean, we just keep on turning around. And yeah, we had to get up a little bit here, 1,000. We were betting under there, so we only caught 300 instead of 1,500 there. Nothing happened there. Then we won 700 here, and we ended up ahead. We turned that around. But this after, let's see, what the hell? That was 5 losses and 2 wins, and we turned that around. Now a random bettor is going to lose in a situation where he loses 5 bets and only wins 2, or is it 3? Yeah, it's 3. Okay, so he's going to lose. It's just that's the math. That's the truth. So I just all I can do is just put up a warning to people saying, ignore this guy. I mean, he is a dangerous fool. There's absolutely no doubt about it. He is a dangerous fool, and he is certainly so far from the best blackjack player who ever played. I mean, the only thing that he possibly has earned a crown for is lying, because for him to say that he's a winner everywhere he's ever played is just a flat out lie, no doubt whatsoever. And I challenge him and say, hey, prove it. But I know he can't, so why bother? It's an impossibility. But there we are. That's how it is. Let's go up to the very top and just have a look at the chart again. I mean, here is pattern betting just plodding happily towards a new high every time. It's at 100% here. It's at 9.3% of total action to date. The house edge is 2.7. I think the next one down below reported at 2.9, but I'm not too bothered about that. No, it's 2.7. So JC Goat, greatest of all time, King John, the best blackjack player that ever played, he's actually underperforming. He should be at plus 2.7. He's not. He's at plus 2.2. And Algie, God bless him, is at 3 times AV at 9.3%. He's actually a little over 3 times, isn't he? Because that would be 8.1. So he's doing very well at 9.3%. Exposure less, blah de blah de blah. Algie has spread 1 to 2,000. That's how you win at these games. You don't do it by sitting in one place and flat betting like this fool. He's managed to achieve an average win over average loss of 118%. Couldn't save him because he was random betting. Meanwhile, Algie is at 779 over 531, which is 147%, and that is a winning number, as you can see. John is definitely, he's ahead. He's managed to win from time to time, but he's slipping further and further and further back. And yes, this time he managed to win, but if he puts up every video that he loses, then you've got the sight of somebody sliding down a slippery slope until eventually these winnings that he's managed to get to. I'm not even sure what his best is. He's at 89% right now. When was the last time he saw a turnaround? I mean, it's a while. We're looking for a horizontal green line. Oh, there we go. All right. So Nightmare at Horseshoe, Part 2, which was his previous, his second from latest. His latest one is at the Venetian with Vegas Paulie C. God. And then he's been going downhill ever since. So that since that, he's lost 11,750. And he did manage to pull back today, but I can't get him to 10,000, and I'm sorry about that. He's probably right. His numbers are right. The chips were counted in front of the camera, so there's no reason to disbelieve them. But they were just bets that he didn't announce them well, and I'm not a mind reader, so what can I say? Anyway, that's it. I'm done, and see you next time. Bye.